Hello, my name is David Steinberg-Zwirek, and this is my GoFleet Getting to Know Me video. So let's get to it. You asked me, first question, provided that GoFleet had deployed technologies at Dubai airports, how would I go about learning and subsequently building a strategy around promoting this technology to other airports? So I broke this down into two steps: learning about the technology and the business environment, and then going into building the marketing strategy. So first off, research what the GoFleet technology does. Do this by Google search, help documentation that may be available, such as how-to manuals, and asking technological professionals that may be on hand. Next up would be researching what competing technologies do. And again, this would be through internet, maybe trade magazines. Third step in this process would be comparing and contrast. So essentially doing a gap analysis. So I'd be able to put these two blocks of information next to each other and see where is GoFleet's strengths, weaknesses, where our competitors' strengths and weaknesses, and from there see opportunities. Are there any opportunities? Are there any concerns we need to be aware of? And so forth. So next is going to some details into building the marketing strategy. First off, I want to identify / clarify the purpose of promotional activities. What I mean by this is, are we targeting one airport at a time? Or are we targeting all airports at once with one advertisement? Next would be determining who owns the trucks. Is it the airports, or is it a third party, or is it multiple third parties? Because that would that's important information to know to ensure that our advertisements are getting to the right people who can actually make decisions and implement our products and services. Break that down to a little further. I mentioned it previously. Seeing who owns, is it multiple people who owns the trucks, and do they own different types of trucks, like specifically? Again, because we could break it down even further, break down promotional strategy even further, and go to the types of trucks, and promote on that level as well. Following this, I would perform some research, look into GoFleet's past marketing activities rolling around this product. So look into marketing channels that are most commonly used, messaging most commonly used. I know right now, at least on your website, you identify or imply things like employee driver safety, optimization of operations, through fewer crashes due to your technology, more money is saved, which would be very valuable for airports. And then you're reducing maintenance costs, again due to fewer crashes, and reduced fuel usage. Now, last thing I would do is determine if historically these approaches have been effective. This would be through web analytics, possibly looking at average number of calls to sales desks over a period of time appropriate to the industry, etc. Then it would be researching into our competitors. Same thing. What channels do they use? What messaging do they use? Is it really similar to ours or to GoFleet's? Or how do they differentiate themselves? And so, just to expand there, I've been looking to, for example, showcases. Are there showcases we can go to? Are there showcases our competitors go to that we don't? Why? Are there trade Are there industry trade magazines? Are there industry conferences? Do cold call? So these are a couple avenues that we look into, see what's being used, what's being not used, and find out why. Maybe there's an opportunity there. And at this point, once all these questions are answered, I would be able to go on to the next steps of formalizing with marketing teams. Hopefully throughout this whole process I'd be working with the marketing team. That'd be great. But we'd be formalizing which marketing tactics would be effective with the determined objectives in mind. So that goes back to, are we targeting one airport, two airports, all airports, or no airports are targeting the owners of the truck, the actual owners of the truck fleet. Alright, so the second question that you asked is, which skills and experiences make me an ideal candidate for this role? And so I'm going to intermingle those, my answers for both of them. So I'm quite effective working independently. I enjoy working as part of a team. That is my preference, but I just make clear that I am completely okay with working independently. This comes from in my program. This is where experience comes in. I've had to work with groups ranging from 6 people to 14 people, and I've never met these people before. So you can imagine you having to get to know their personalities, work habits, and figure out what's the group dynamic, all the while moving the team forward together to meet our objectives. Oral communication and verbal communications also. So my program is primarily presentation based. We do have also business reports. There are many business analytical presentations and reports, case studies, and we also do some projects with live businesses. In fact, this past term, I did a project with a live startup here in Waterloo that's looking to shake up the pharmaceutical industry with a technology that will effectively replace pills and cough syrups. As you can imagine, this is for allergies. But it was really cool. We had to cold call them. We had to and interact them on separate levels. Another skill that may be of interest, depending on marketing activities that GoFleet decides to go, and which direction-wise. I have some skills in HTML and CSS. This was through a computer science course that I took here at Waterloo. So I have some skills in website design. Actually, I'm currently in the process of creating wire diagrams for the consultancy that I'm a part of, a student-run consultancy called WhatSolve. Work with groups or organizations from ranging from student groups to international businesses. So cool experience there. But what's really cool, what I'm doing that I'm finding really cool there is I'm building their brand. Moreover, I came up with multiple alternatives to improving their website design. Not necessarily doing the coding behind it, but what it looked like, the purpose behind why it looks that way, and content. So very cool experience there. And if GoFleet ever wants to do a website redesign for any reason, I'm there. I have experience in Excel, PowerPoint, Word through my academic career, having to deal with large data sets and interpreting what those data sets, what that mass of data means. PowerPoint, presentations, Word, is my preferred means of writing documents. Interpersonal communication skills, again, that comes from the group projects that I'm a part of. I have to deal with multiple personalities, have to be constructive with everyone. You don't want a toxic situation. That's the worst case scenario. Because I mean, you still have to reach your goal, but it's not a pleasant experience. So staying away from that is ideal, and that's where interpersonal communication skills come in. And lastly would be problem-solving skills, being able to think critically and analytically. That is not to say exclude all emotions. In fact, in terms of marketing, I'd say emotions are very important, a very important factor in any effective advertisement. But furthermore, so example of problem-solving experience, I was part of I got a scholarship to take a Ivy business administration course while I was in grade 12. And from there, we were assigned a case study for a fundraiser in Toronto that was raising money to help support kids going to summer camps. And so around that time, there was an article that had been released that spoke to how the majority of money that went towards fundraisers never actually went to the cause itself. It went to sustaining the business, running the business, which that's an issue. So with that in mind, there were two factors that I could use. There was a bus that would take participants in this fundraiser from one location to the fundraiser and back, and there were booths on site. Historically, the booths were there for free, but I suggested that you charge them a regional price. I did some price pointing, though I don't remember the number off the top of my head at the moment. And for the bus, you charge $1 per person. And it's not much, but it's quantity over quality. And this all goes towards reducing the fundraiser's overhead. So hopefully you produce a report later on that you release to the public showing the breakdown, how much money is going to the cause that it says that people are donating money for, and it shows that improvement. And I find it would be an effective strategy, just with the timing and what was going on in the real world. So that was a cool problem-solving experience. The last question you had for me was, what are important success factors in a project like this? I'd say you need strong speakers, you need strong open channels of communication, an aggressive awareness campaign. So go to industry conferences, go to trade shows, cold call, social media where it would be appropriate. You need to clearly differentiate the products, or even if you want your whole brand, from everyone else. Do this by not solely relying on the set marketing practices that historically work, may historically work, but if everyone's using the same thing and saying the same thing, it's just a great blob. It's just words. There's no impact. It's for example, in 6 seconds, Google gets your attention on YouTube with its ad about that dims your whole screen because you think your battery's dying, and asks, "Aren't you tired of that?" Well, here you go. Here's a computer that doesn't do that. You don't have that problem. 6 seconds, and it's very impactful. This leads into my last point. This does involve risk. That would involve risk, but risk is necessary. Nothing was done without taking risks. Also, it's what makes life fun. But yeah, I hope to. That's my shtick. I hope to be hearing from you soon. You seem like a very interesting company with very interesting opportunities ahead of you, and it'd be cool to be a part of that. All right, hear from you soon. Bye.